right, well, with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to John for today's webinar. Thanks, John.
You bet. Thank you, Lauren. We're excited and to be part of this forum, and I feel like it, well, I know it's going to be a great opportunity for all of you to learn more about CONNEX. I'd like to introduce the two individuals that will be presenting today. The gentleman with CONNEX Marketplace, as his background is Roger Salisbury. He is our product manager. And then down at the bottom, we have Dave Smart, who is our director of the Exchange Center. So with that, I will turn it over to Roger.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to start sharing my screen here and just take you through a few things here on the subject of how do you get more business using CONNEX Marketplace. I'm going to focus on two particular items. Number one, the development of your organization's profile and also working in the Exchange Center. Now, first of all, the development of your organization's profile, I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on that today because we're going to have another webinar coming up soon that will take a deeper dive with that. But it won't make any sense if I don't at least mention it here today. So let me go over that a little bit. I'm going to start by doing a quick search. The search term I'm going to choose today is medical plastics. As I do a search in CONNEX Marketplace on medical plastics, it's going to search over the 150,000 manufacturers currently in our system right now. And you're going to see there's a strong showing. Within the first screen or page of the search results, we have a strong showing for a few Connecticut organizations. And it searches by relevance. And so I have modern plastics here, as well as J&L plastics molding. I can open up those profiles in a preview, or I can open them up in a full view mode. And the reason that they became at the top of my search results is because how well they have filled out their profile. And so I just want to showcase that very, very quickly here. There is a variety of other terms I could have searched on, likely, and it would have still shown them near the top, or at least on the first page. But with the term medical plastics, there was a lot of representation within their profile. So I just want to say good job with these organizations for filling out a rich profile. Like I said, what we can do and the tips and tricks that we'll spend on a few minutes on another day, we'll take a deeper dive there. But it's very relevant to understand that a rich profile is going to be important for any success with CONNEX Marketplace. So now I'm going to move over to the Exchange Center. We'll spend a little bit more time here. The Exchange Center is really where the business connections happen in CONNEX Marketplace. Here we have a list of needs or surplus items that have been created in the Exchange Center in CONNEX Marketplace. We will typically have anywhere from several dozen that are active at any time to over 100, and that number seems to be growing all the time. So as an interested party, you are able to come here and browse through some of these items. You'll notice that we have surplus. We have an other, we've got some supplier scouting, NIST MEP supplier scouting opportunities. That's a discussion in of itself, but we won't take a deep dive into that. We've got an RFQ, an RFI, and there's several other RFXs throughout here. And so we won't go to all of the pages that are listed here, but I will open up a couple just for a sample. Here we have a sulfamate nickel plating supplier, and they're needed immediately. And we've got an organization here in this case in Oklahoma that has presented a need that they've got. They've provided a description and identified some restrictions, the quantity they're looking for. They even have an attachment here, which I won't go into opening right now. You've got access to this, and I would encourage you to look into any of these that you might find interesting. Now, with my user account, I just have to talk through this a little bit. I've got access to a couple of buttons that you may not. You will have access to the respond button. You will only have access to the edit button if you own the listing. And so I would encourage you to respond to any of these that you might have an interest in. I'm going to open up another one right here, milling of a large diameter plate with laser cladding. We got the ability to, as owners of these listings, to also send out distribution notifications. This one sent out a notification to 841 recipients based on very specific criteria. Now, how did that match get made with these 841 recipients? That's the reason I spend a little bit of time talking about your profile to begin with, because you're not going to be a match for any of these listings when somebody's sending out a notification if you haven't spent time to build out your profile and identify to other participants in CONNEX Marketplace what you do, who you are, and the capabilities that you have. So it's very important if you want to be notified of any relevant Exchange Center listings to make sure that your profile is set up and you've got a list of contacts set up in your organization as well. There are a variety of different types of Exchange Center listings that can be created. And it's not just a place where you can go looking for opportunities for new business, but sometimes building your business also has to do with shoring up your upward supply chain. And so you have the ability to add a listing as well. And this is where you can find out a little bit more about the breadth of what the Exchange Center can do for you. Here we have a list of needs that can be created. RFIs, RFP, RFQs. This is a surplus category. This is if you're looking to offload something. And I'll just mention one thing quickly here. The surplus category for the Exchange Center was initially conceived with the idea of providing a service to academia and research. And so if an organization has equipment and materials that are in surplus, they may consider either donating or offloading at cost some of these equipment and materials to research or educational organizations. Some of them are also looking simply just to sell them off if they have any equipment or materials that they don't need anymore, and that's their prerogative. We also have the ability to list research and development type of Exchange Center needs. Sometimes academia will come in here and they will post certain types of needs, but industry can also come in here if they have a need for research and development services, and they can then collaborate with research organizations in your area. I'll just let you read those, and I won't go over those in great details here, but these are great. So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to list, as an example, an RFP. Click Next, and all you've got to do is provide some quick information in a short and longer description. I'm not going to do this for real, but I'm just showing you how simple it is. You can attach up to 3 documents here. Sometimes these are going to be technical drawings. Maybe there'll be a product or image or a picture of the product that you're currently trying to produce or find additional sources for. Whatever you feel like would be a benefit to those who are going to consider responding to this Exchange Center listing. You click Next, you indicate the number of units that you need. And you'll notice in the previous example I gave, they said 12 per month. So this can be a free-form field as well. If there's any restrictions, you can list those here. That's optional. Your organization will automatically always be selected here, but because of my user account, I just have to select one. And then you would select a contact that is associated and built into your profile that you want to have associated with this listing. Then you determine the length of time that you want it listed. Most people will select immediate to get that started right now. And you can quickly select 60 days from now or a future date. And that is the amount of time that it will allow this organization or this listing to be shown to other organizations as they're coming and browsing through the Exchange Center. When you do that, you will then want to, and I'm going to cancel this because this is a production environment, you will then want to go in and do a distribution notification and add the criteria that you think would be would match organizations that would be interested in this listing that you just created. I'll just go through this quickly and somewhat randomly just to show you the power of it. I selected a couple of industries, and that may not make sense for the one I'm showing you here. I might select some materials as well. So maybe acrylic, brass. You can narrow it down to sending a notification within your state. If you want to give first preference to those that are local, then you can bring those in by identifying your state. I won't do that for the demonstration purposes. You can also hand select a few organizations if you want. If you don't think they may necessarily match this criteria, you can hand select those and send out a notification, which provides them that invitation to come and look for it. I click Find Matches, and it will take about 20 to 30 seconds because now it's digging through and mining through the 150,000 organizations and all of the users that are attached to those to see if there's any that match this criteria. In this case, we can see that 28 people already received a notification, and that was sent out on February 16th. I can't show it to you because it's proprietary now, but the owner of this listing can see the responses that have been given already. And those responses give them the opportunity then to start that dialogue back and forth to select one or more suppliers for this need. Because this one found 800 matches, I could click on Schedule Send, and that would send another distribution out, a collection of notifications or a distribution of notifications to 800 more people. If any of these 28 people matched this criteria, they would have been deduplicated and removed from this. So we're not worried about spamming individuals. They will at most receive one notification for any specific Exchange Center listing. So I hope you're seeing both sides of the coin on this. Number one, you can be a solution to somebody else. That will generate opportunities for you to come in here and provide a solution for others, and it's generating business for you. Or you can bolster up your supply chain, which is also a business building activity, by creating a listing in the Exchange Center here. I'm going to pause for a moment here before I pass the microphone over to Dave Smart, who will also share some of his insights. And if anybody's been watching the chats or the Q&A, I'm going to quickly go in there right now and see if there are any questions. Doesn't look like there are right now. But if there are any, feel free to throw those questions in and we will address those. So I'll give the microphone over to Dave Smart now. I'll be continuing to watch for any questions that come in, and I'll address those a little bit later. I'll stop sharing my screen, and so that'll give Dave the ability to share his screen.
Perfect. Thank you, Roger. Yeah, let me share my screen here with everybody. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, thank you, Roger. As John mentioned, my name is David Smart. I am the kind of the director or the manager over the Exchange Center. And I like to tell people my job is to make connections. Matter of fact, think of myself, Bernice, as kind of an extension of your staff, right? We are here to help. And I get very passionate. I'm very excited about making these connections and helping companies find new opportunities. Unfortunately, I can't sit in there and close the deal or, get the order for you, but I can give you an opportunity to step up to the plate and take a swing at some of these opportunities that come through. So my job's kind of divided into two parts, and I'm gonna quickly kind of go over those real quick. One of the directions I have been given is to grow opportunities, grow our footprint, if you will, inside of these large primes and OEMs. And it is interesting as I work with these companies and get them to start posting. And we have worked with some great companies: Northrop Grumman, NASA, Bell Helicopters, Hill Air Force Base, Tinker Air Force Base, Boeing, PR Hoffman. That Roger had mentioned them in one of the posts. Anyway, these companies don't have a front door. You just can't knock on there and say, "Hey, this is what we make." Matter of fact, I've had many conversations with suppliers that say it has taken me years to get to the right person inside of these divisions. And the other thing that I have found in working with these companies is they don't always share new suppliers with the whole company. And so if somebody says, "Oh yeah, we do business with Northrop Grumman," I always ask them, I'm like, "Which division?" And then it comes to find out that they have one division inside of a massive, massive company. So my job is to get into these large primes and OEMs and then grow it with inside of those companies. So there are more opportunities. I'm excited to tell you just real quick, I kind of off script a little bit, but we have here in this week, we should have another, I think there's an Air Force base. No, I don't think, I know there's an Air Force base that is looking to put in 2 to 14 new posts for parts they have. PR Hoffman is the one I mentioned, has one new one coming in, and Northrop Grumman is looking at 5 new posts, everything from large VTLs to some chemical type needs. So it's really exciting to see those come in. As Roger said, it's not limited to just the large, the large primes and OEMs. If you're a registered member with CONNEX, I would highly encourage you to make if you have any supply chain needs, please feel free to post those. One of the things that I also do is we monitor it every day, and our goal is to always find at a minimum 2 to 3 qualified suppliers for every post. So what that means is, let's say you post something you're struggling with finding. It could be a specific part. It could be supplies for that for a particular part. But let's just say you put it in, and let's say for whatever reason the responses are a little slow. And this is where I talk about, I joke that Bernice and I are kind of an extension of your staff, because if it is slow and you're just not getting the response like you had in the past or that are coming in, we'll jump in and we can help. And so my team then goes in, we start doing searches, we start reaching out, making phone calls, and helping drive folks to that post, because sometimes they get missed, or they're busy, or they're out. And anyway, just remind people that there is an opportunity in there and that they can respond. Also, we have the ability, when we talk about new business, we also have the ability to cast even a wider net than CONNEX. As Roger says, CONNEX has over 150,000 manufacturers across the country. But we also have an extensive network of partners, state partners, CONNEX, other states, manufacturing associations, the MEPs, NAM, other trade associations, manufacturing associations. And so in those cases where things may be a little slow, we can also, I will reach out to our network of partners. And like I said, just cast a much wider net. And I can honestly say we have not had a post we haven't been able to find 1 or 2 qualified suppliers. So please, if you have any questions, or if there's any way we can help, reach out to Bernice. Bernice can always contact me. Bernice, you're welcome to share my contact and my information. Now, the other side that I work with is, so that's one end, and help getting posts in, helping grow those posts inside of the large primes and OEMs. The other side is with the suppliers, right? And helping them know about these opportunities. As Roger said, notifications go out. You will get notified when those connections are made, and that goes off of your filled out profile. So when I tell people, when they respond to any of the posts, you have the ability to write a little message. So let's say that that nickel plating one, which, by the way, just real quick, I don't think Roger knew this, but that nickel plating one, the reason they had to post is their supplier of 20 years burnt down. So I don't mean to laugh at that, but they needed to find a supplier really quick. And there's 4 to 5 that have responded to that. And I know that conversations have been happening, but their supply chain need changed dramatically overnight. So I always encourage folks, companies, you'll get notifications, but also go in on a periodically every week, and just check and see what is new in CONNEX in the marketplace. Please respond to any of those postings. So when you respond, you have, Roger, is it 3,000, 2,000 characters? You can write, say, hey, this is something we're really interested in. Here's some of our qualifications. And then also on your profile, and Roger, correct me also, but they can also in the posting, but when they respond to the post, but they can upload a capability statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will be a topic for discussion in our next webinar.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I know that was a new option, but I just wanted to make sure that I would highly encourage you to always upload a capability statement, because now these companies, when they post, so a Northrop Grumman, let's say, when they post an RFP, RFI, they will see real time the companies that respond back, and you want to separate yourself from your competitors, right? You want to raise to the, that you want to get an interview with them, with those buyers. And one of the ways you do that is through these capability statements. Let them know. I mean, they'll have your website, they'll have all that other stuff, but so they can see exactly and can look up quickly what you can do and the quality of your work. So again, just here, kind of as I wrap up, as we kind of get things moving over to kind of a question and answer period. Again, please, if you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out. But like I said, just kind of in conclusion, where I started is our job, my job, my team's job, Bernice's job, is to help make those connections and help you get in front of other buyers, whether the company's large or small, but just to drive business and make you aware of other things that are going on, not only in your neighborhood, in your state, but also nationally. And then if you have a need, a supply chain need, let's say there's a tricky part, we love those. We also like the day-to-day stuff. If you need pallets or cardboard or nuts and bolts, all of that stuff can be found in the marketplace. So with that, hopefully I answered some questions, but if I didn't, please feel free to ask.
Dave, there's a couple of questions in
Okay.
the question and answer section. I'd like to address those now if I could.
Okay, you bet.
That'd be okay?
Yes, no.
Paul and Patrick, both of you ask a similar question. And you're probably all seeing that. And so I would like to address that. How can we find the opportunities basically for the things that we do right now? And well, first of all, you're doing the right thing now. And I don't want to say be patient, but because that's the hardest thing sometimes. But let me give you a little bit of background to give you some hope and some encouragement. We began working with a supply chain solution similar to what you see in CONNEX Marketplace over a decade ago. But it started locally, where our main office is located in the state of Utah. And I won't give the entire background, but it has it was backed by the State Economic Development Center, and also partnered with the local MEP. And it eventually grew to become a national solution. This national solution has been in existence for several years now, but probably more important as far as looking at what the pathway for growth looks like is we have provided focused implementations on a state-by-state level with many states throughout the country, working through the MEPs, such as CONSTEP in Connecticut. And we're proud to say that we've got a great partnership with about 15 states throughout the country now, and right on the verge of implementation, about another 15 states. Although it's been a national solution for several years now, we're gaining these great, strong partnerships within the states and on a rapid basis now. And by the end of this year, we would expect that most states will have a focused implementation of the CONNEX Marketplace, providing this direction, this great direction that Bernice and her team are doing within the state of Connecticut. So with that being said, you might want to consider this the LinkedIn of manufacturing, but maybe 10 years ago. And we're rapidly seeing adoption coming on. And so there will be a lot richer and more numerous opportunities on specialty types of parts and services that many of you are doing. So do what you're doing. If you haven't built out your profile, or you want to know more about building out your profile, attend the next webinar, and that will be very helpful for making sure you're positioned well to be there when those opportunities that are very specific to you come in. The next question that is being asked is about a little bit more about the MEP supplier scouting feature. Let me talk about that a little bit. That's an interesting thing. And NIST MEP is the national parent company to all of the state MEPs, such as CONSTEP. And for quite some time now, there has been a networking channel for organizations who have difficult to source needs to escalate that up through the MEP network to the national level, and then it disseminates throughout the country through the MEP network. Now, this has been happening for many, many years, but just recently it has also found its way into CONNEX Marketplace as another means or another channel for distributing these needs. And we've quickly found that at least 90% of all responses that get back to NIST MEP are happening in CONNEX Marketplace. So this new channel that the supplier scouting network has in CONNEX Marketplace has proven to be an extraordinarily valuable channel. And so that's just one more opportunity for you to find a place where you might provide a solution for somebody else that hasn't been readily available or as easily available to you before. Hopefully that answers your question. We have Al in the profile categories, process equipment, materials, etc. What about products? Okay, products is in a category by itself. So you're looking under the capabilities section, I believe, and there is another section all by itself that where you're available. You are able to list your available products that you produce right now. That's a great lead and a teaser into our next webinar. So I hope you join us. I think that answers the questions, and we're about a minute away from the end of our time. So I'm going to just give Bernice maybe an opportunity just to say thanks for being here and any closing comments that she wants to make.
Hi there. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. If there's any other further questions, in chat, there's my contact information. Please feel free to give me and shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer any other questions, going forward. If I can't answer them, I'll go back to the CONNEX Marketplace experts and they'll be able to help me out here, and I can get back to you. So thank you again for joining us, and keep the lines of communications open. And one thing about the profile, that's very important that you complete that. I hope you join us for the next one that is going to be on April 17th. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.